Hello everyone, welcome back to Susan Dawn's Spiritual Connections. Welcome to a brand new Sacred Union energy update. This is going to be an interesting one. First, I want to share some of my own experiences with the energy that is shifting. It occurred, I think it was on Wednesday or so. The energy felt very dense, not heavy in a negative sense, but just dense, very sleepy for me. I could feel the eclipse energy really ramping up. And I was just asked to rest a lot. There was a lot that was being integrated. I could feel a lot of downloads that were coming in. And so I did that. I just allowed myself to rest in between things that I needed to do. And I could feel something shifting. It was almost like there was an opening that was happening, an expansion that was happening. And it was towards the evening when I just felt this really beautiful, soft energy come through, within the heart chakra particularly. And I could feel that this was the masculine energy because I was connecting with the person that has been my counterpart along this journey, the person that has been the catalyst for my own ascension, my twin. For lack of a better word, I will still call him my twin. I do want to pause here and just say that if you have not yet checked out the soul path, the soulmate reading, do allow yourself to check that out. It was a very powerful channeling on twin flames and soulmates and how there might be some diverging paths now, but it all leads back to the twin flame energy. And remember that twin flame is an energy. So this beautiful energy was coming through. This beautiful connection was coming back through. And I hadn't, as much as I'd felt connected with the counterpart, my previous counterpart, with my twin, it's almost like there was a block in my heart because there had been so much pain experienced within the connection and within the separation and how that separation had occurred. So there was a very soft energy that was coming through and a very tender energy that was coming through and a very loving energy that was coming through. And I decided, okay, let's just sit with this because it could shift again. Thursday, I woke up and it just felt like sunshine. There were beautiful light codes coming in. I could feel the integration of the light codes. I could feel the integration of the new energy. It felt amazing. It just felt so good. I was motivated, I was excited, I was just feeling so super lovey-dovey and soft and romantic, and it just felt like pure love. It felt so good. Friday, yesterday, was also just this beautiful energy. I felt a little bit more tired than I did on Thursday with the eclipse energy because the eclipse was yesterday. The full moon was yesterday, so I felt a little bit more tired, but again, I just allowed myself to embrace that, allowed myself to rest, allowed myself to just go with the flow of the day and the energy, and again, it just felt really, really soft and tender energy, but the soft and tender energy was coming from the masculine energy. So I decided to pull some cards and see what was happening, and I ended up doing a reading for the Divine Masculine over on the Patreon. And again, it was really beautiful energy of transformation, of change, of self-forgiveness and forgiveness within the connection, of self-love coming through. This really felt like a massive shift for the Divine Masculine. It really felt like revelations and epiphanies. It really felt like a breakthrough. And I'm getting a lot of crown energy right now. So really connecting to God's source, perhaps in a way that they hadn't connected in a very long time. I'll put it like that, in a very long time. This was a very deep-seated soul-centered connection to God. So they might have been connecting to God in more intellectual ways, but this was feeling it. This was anchoring it in. They're giving me the word embodiment. So this was really embodying that connection to God, really feeling connected to God and feeling connected to themselves as well. What I'm actually seeing is the outline, the energy of an individual. And it's when I'm doing my meditations or I'm doing the light language transmission, we always call in that pillar of light, connecting from God's source, from the center of all that is, down through the crown chakra, through the heart, down rooting into the root chakra of the feet, down into the core of the earth, and then back up again into the heart and expanding. That's our connection to God. And that's what I'm seeing now. But it's almost like in the past, it hadn't been online for the Divine Masculine or in true alignment for the Divine Masculine. What they're showing me now is it was almost like it was slightly askew. And we had channeled a couple of months ago that the Divine Masculine was coming online. Now, again, not online as in spiritual awakening. They might have been spiritually awakened. They might have understood concepts and such intellectually, but really embracing it and embodying it is a different level. Experiencing it within is a different level of your ascension, of your awakening. And so that's what this felt like. It felt like coming online with regards to the embodiment and with regards to the embodiment of the connection to the self. And the Divine Masculine previously had been very disconnected from the self, and so they were disconnected from the world. They were disconnected from family, from friends, from God's source, and even their divine feminine, because they were not fully connecting to themselves. And when you're fully connecting to yourself, you're feeling your emotions. You're feeling connected emotionally to your heart body, to your heart center. But this Divine Masculine that we had been channeling for was disconnected and more so in the mental state, not recognizing the importance of balance within the heart space and opening up that heart space. And that's what this journey has been for this Divine Masculine. And so Divine Feminine, on the flip side, you might have been learning how to work with the mind and the powers of the mind, having already worked through the heart space and learning how to open up the heart space. That's where you are the union of opposites. That's where you are the yin and the yang, so to speak. That's where you are the masculine and the feminine polarities, bridging those polarities and coming into that union. And you do that within union of self, and you also do that in relationship with another, in your connection. And so what has been happening is the Divine Masculine is really coming online with themselves in full connection to themselves and embodying. And that's part of what this revelation, so to speak, that's part of what this epiphany has been. It's the connection to themselves that enables them to feel more fully grounded and connected to the world, and even connected to their Divine Feminine, and recognizing the Divine Feminine for who she is, where they might have pushed her away, they might have denied her, avoided her, they might have projected onto her, or even blamed her for the shifts that were occurring in their own lives. So it's very interesting energies that's coming through. Again, very soft, tender, loving energy, especially loving energy towards the Divine Feminine. A huge heart expansion opening towards the Divine Feminine as these realizations and epiphanies are coming through, as they're understanding the role that the Divine Feminine has played to facilitate that connection to themselves. And what I'm getting is it very much feels for the majority of this masculine's life that they had been left out in the cold, and it had been very isolating, it had been very lonely. And the Divine Feminine comes in and kind of turns everything on its head, and the Divine Masculine sees the changes and the shifts and the transformations, and that's where they kind of push it away. They avoid it because they're avoiding that change, they're avoiding that connection to themselves, they're wanting to stay in the comfort zone of what they know or what they think they know. And this is part of an ego death in and of itself. I don't like to call it an ego death. I like to call it more ego integration, understanding that there's more beyond what was experienced. And so the Divine Feminine really showing the Divine Masculine how to really connect with the heart space, and as such connect with one another in that connection, in that intimate relationship. And as we've always said, as the Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine come together in that union, in that connection, that has a ripple effect. As you connect with yourself, as you connect with your partner, you recognize the value of connecting and having those loving and vulnerable relationships with everybody in the world, or especially with your family, with your friends. It's the ever-expanding energy of love, and that love creates that unity consciousness. And you might have different variations and different dynamics of relationship, but the core essence of all those connections comes back to love. And that's what you as sacred partners are showing each other. You're showing each other the value of that love. And the value of that connection, and the value of that emotional intimacy and availability and connection. So it's been a really beautiful, beautiful energy. And I'm getting called to this now. Last night, I didn't know if I was going to share this or not, but last night I actually ended up having a dream about my divine masculine, my counterpart, my twin. I don't know, really quite know what to call him because we don't have a physical relationship. And in the soulmate reading, I talked about how if you're in perceived separation, because it's all energetics, this is a very spiritual connection, so there's a spiritual component. We have an energetic connection that will always exist, but we don't have a relationship. There's no contact, there's no communication, there's no relationship. And so that's where I've struggled trying to balance out the physical and accept the physical with what I'm also feeling intuitively. And I feel like I've come to this beautiful point of understanding and balance within myself and my own journey. But I went to bed last night and I said, okay, God, just show me what it is that I need. Why am I experiencing this energy? What is it that I need to know about my energetic connection with my twin, with my counterpart? Having gone through this energy of acceptance and just surrender of what life, my physical experience in life, what might look like with him. And so I ended up having a dream, and I'm going to share what I wrote because I actually keep a little bit of a journal. These are letters that I've written to him during separation, and it's easiest for me to read it out loud. So I said, last night I had a dream about you. The world was in disarray. It's almost like a dystopian kind of energy, it felt like. And I was guided to walk physically walk towards him, I heard God say. And so I did. There had been a snowstorm, and I found myself trudging through mountains of snow until there was a smooth path before me, and that path became easier. And then the snow melted and turned to dirt, and the winter turned to spring. And as I approached some kind of encampment, I saw you. And I know you saw me, but I couldn't bring myself to take another step. I couldn't bring myself to take another step towards you after coming all this way. So I went to rest. Disappointment flooding my heart because you were so close, but also so far away, and it seemed impossible to bridge this gap. So that's the only part that I'm going to share. In the dream, he was with his daughter, and we were actually all reunited, and it was a beautiful, beautiful energy of just love, being embraced. But it was that first part that really struck with me. And I woke up and it was almost like it had the feeling of it wasn't quite a dream. Like we had met in the ethereal realms. Like we had reunited in the ethereal realms. And as you can hear, I'm getting emotional because it opened up a part of my heart that I wanted to guard against and keep guarding against. Because again, there had been so much pain experienced within my connection with him. And so to open up to any possibility feels almost scary. Scary. But I've been allowing myself just to feel into the connection and just accept that I have this energetic connection. It's almost like I'm back to the basics. I have this energetic connection, but I'm also accepting of it's not feasible or it's not there in the physical. But I'm allowing myself to embrace the love. And I feel like that's what's happening within the divine masculine. Like the divine masculine is opening up, almost like in the reverse is what I'm getting. It's almost like the roles are reversed. Like everything is flipped. Like it's like the divine masculine is understanding that, and has understood that there's an energetic connection, but almost like they are, it feels like they're feeling the absence of the physical. Whereas the feminine is becoming accepting of the physical, it's like the masculine is feeling the absence of the physical, which is very, very interesting to channel because I was not understanding of that myself. So very interesting energy, but this is all, as we say, this is all part of union. This is all part of your journey, your evolution. And I really, really encourage you guys to check out the Soul Path. I keep calling it that, the soulmate reading. It's called Ready for Love. And it's not just about soulmates, although some might be experiencing that path. It is about your journey with your twin, with your counterpart, and how it is not according to a linear timeline. I feel like so many in the counterpart community, in the twin flame community especially, it goes by a particular template. But there is no template. You're creating the template through your own evolution, through your own ascension. And I think it's really important to release any projection or release any expectation of what you think that should look like, and just allow for that love. Now, that does not mean that you don't have your healthy boundaries. That does not mean that you don't have your needs, your wants, your desires. Absolutely not. This is still your life. This is still your experience. This is still your journey. But there is that balance of acceptance and surrender, and allowing yourself to continue to follow your path and follow your truth and what it is that you want to create. And so I feel like that soulmate reading is going to be really helpful, just as a whole. So I really encourage you guys to check that out. But this energy is just, it's too much not to explore. I've been... I wanted to wait until after the eclipse, especially since I was so kind of tired and sleepy yesterday. I wanted to wait until after the eclipse to kind of see what this transformation is bringing in, to see if it shifted. But the energy is still here. In fact, it just feels so just beautiful, tender, soft, loving. And Divine Feminines, are you allowing yourself to receive that love? Even if it's just energetic, allow yourself to receive that love and accept that love and embrace that love. That's what I've been learning how to do. So let's explore this together and see what's happening for the Divine Masculine, the Divine Feminine, and the Union energies. I have been blessed in that I am pulling back from my work at the shop during the weekends, very gratefully, because it's a lot, all the work that I was doing. So it's been an enjoyable, leisurely day that I'm sure is adding to this beautiful energy that I'm feeling, or this beautiful energy is adding to the leisure that I'm feeling. So let's allow us to explore this and see what's happening and see how it shifts. Everybody's favorite word, patience. I'm going to put that up here. Just trust in the divine timing. A couple of months ago, weeks ago, time is very weird right now, we had channeled that there was a turning point, that there was that doorway that was opening, and I very much felt that with this eclipse season. This eclipse in Scorpio, this lunar eclipse, this past one, marks transformation. It is the death card. Scorpio is the death card in tarot. And death is always transformation, endings and beginnings. And I feel like that's what this is really solidifying. And there's a stabilizing energy that's coming in here. So there might have been a lot of transformations. Well, there have been a lot of transformations and shifts, and even tower moments that have been experienced. But what I'm getting is a very stabilizing energy. And so we've been channeling that there is like a turning point. It's like, this is the moment. That's what we've been channeling. This is the moment. It's like the moment is now. I don't want to say it like this. Time is ticking is almost like the energy that I'm getting. And especially with the cornucopia at the bottom of the deck, it's like, it's now. What are you choosing? What path are you choosing? And I can't remember the readings that we've done, but I know we've channeled this in the past couple of Sacred Union or Ascension relationship energy updates, that it's like, it's now. What are you choosing? That's what this eclipse energy was really bringing forth. It's like, are you making those changes for yourself? Are you consciously deciding the path that you want to go on? Are you going to repeat cycles of struggle and challenge? Or are you going to go through that path of more ease by allowing yourself to release the resistance and step into this energy of trust and surrender? And so I feel like that's the doorway that's opening. And Divine Feminines, you have already walked through that doorway because you've chosen that path. You've chosen love. You made that conscious choice. And you made that conscious choice by making the hardest decision you have ever had to make, which was choosing yourself, choosing to love yourself. And that was the hardest decision you've ever had to make, because to some, that might look a certain way. But you had to choose yourself. You had to love yourself. You could not continue to abandon or betray yourself. But by making that conscious decision to love yourself, you are actually having a ripple effect, or that's creating a ripple effect in a positive way for other people, and in a positive way on the world around you. Choosing love should not be negated. Choosing yourself is again, sometimes it's the hardest decision. And what I'm hearing is, I cannot remember who does this song. I feel like it's Lifehouse, but I can't remember. Sometimes the right thing and the hardest thing and the right thing are the same. I can't remember what song it is, and I can't even sing it for you, but they're just bringing the lyrics to me. Sometimes the hardest thing and the right thing are the same, and that's loving yourself, and that's choosing yourself. Sometimes it's the hardest decision because you feel like you're abandoning somebody, or you feel like you're betraying somebody, but worse yet would be to abandon or betray yourself. And so I feel like you chose that path of love, and that might have required walking away from somebody, or that might have required putting up boundaries, that might have required certain actions or certain whatever it was, or certain conversations. But at the end of the day, you were choosing that path of love. And I feel like the divine masculine is really following. And I feel like that's part of the understanding that they're having now, where they might have been in ego, they might have been in resistance, they might have even been in denial of that because of their own pain. And that's not to say that there is not pain involved, but I feel like they're seeing things differently. They're seeing things through a different lens now. And I feel like with this time kind of energy coming forth, and we've been picking up on this for the past couple months, is like the time is now. What are you going to choose? Are you going to choose loving yourself? Are you really living in your integrity? Are you really living up to your potential? And I don't mean other people's potential. I mean your own potential. Potential within yourself, that you know who you are. Are you really presenting to the world or showing the world who you are? Are you really being your authentic self? That's what's been going on with the divine masculine lately, and I feel like there's this huge revelation and this heart opening and this crown expansion and this just huge understanding of self and connection to self, and it's changing everything for them if they allow it. And it's like the time is now. The time is now. And for twin flames especially, the time is now because it's needed on this planet. Your connection to yourself, your connection to God, the love within yourself has a ripple effect. And especially when the energy is brought together in that union of self. And even if you're on the sacred path with a partner, that union together with a person, it just has the power and magnitude to affect the entire cosmos, to affect the entire world. That's how powerful the energy of love is. But it's not love in the way and the paradigm and the templates that we thought love is. It is pure love. It is unconditional love. And that starts with understanding what love truly is, especially love within the self. So I'm going to put that up here, and let's get a card for the divine masculine and divine feminine and see what's going on. Let's see divine masculine first. Oh, interesting. Nice message. And divine feminine. And the union energies. And the union energies, please. You're still on your journey, even if it doesn't feel like it. You're still on your journey. I have the strength card here as well. And this strength card is what you're embodying now, is what I'm getting. I want to do just one more card here. And what is this eclipse energy transforming for the divine masculine? What's going on for the divine masculine, please? Ooh. Yep. And the divine feminine? I like that. Willpower. Amazing. And the union. Okay, I'm going to start with the union energies. You have been through a very, very challenging journey thus far. And if you allow yourself to look back, and I always say this, if you allow yourself to look back, you can see the transformation within yourself, and you can see the transformation within your world, possibly even within the connection as well. It very much feels, when I had that dream, my twin was in a completely different energy. And it is a little bit, how do I say this? It's almost like I woke up and it didn't feel like a dream. Like I said, it felt like I was in another world. It felt like I was in another dimension. It felt like we were meeting on that bridge, and it felt like, when I grounded myself, it's almost like, can I believe it? I believed it so many times. Can I allow myself to believe it? But look at your own journey. Look at your own self, and look at the transformation that you have undergone. And whether or not your person, your actual person, remember, twin flame is an energy, whether or not your person is actually going through their own transformation, you're on your journey. And so you are meeting somebody, or will be reuniting or meeting somebody who is going to be matching that frequency of your journey. Whether that's your counterpart twin that's coming back, or whether that's somebody else who is embracing that twin flame energy, that same twin flame energy. So, or that same frequency, I should say. So you've been on this journey, and it has taught you strength. It has taught you resilience. It has taught you how to trust your intuition, how to trust yourself, how to connect with yourself. It's perhaps even healed your relationship with God. It's nurtured your connection with yourself and with others. It has brought changes into your life to align you to higher frequency, to better opportunities. Endings always beget new beginnings. And so we have to allow for those transformations to take place, as uncomfortable as it might feel during those transformations or during those endings. It always creates the new. I look back at my own journey, and I could see how my counterpart and I were stuck in a cycle, and something had to end. And I always said to him, I want a new beginning, but we can't continue in this cycle. And we ended up just completely kind of breaking down and going through the separation. But the separation was of value. The separation brought me to a new level of my own journey and a new understanding of myself, because we couldn't heal in an environment where we were constantly triggering each other. We were being the mirror for each other, and it was just like a ping pong going back and forth and back and forth, and it was almost like it was very hard to step out of that. And so again, the hardest decision and the most loving decision sometimes are the same. It brought you to this place where you're at the next level of your journey now. And so what you're doing is you are recognizing your courage and recognizing your strength, and you are letting down the burdens of the past. Again, moving into the next level of your journey. And again, check out the soulmate reading, because that's going to tie up some of these threads here. So what's going on with the Divine Masculine right now? I love this card because it's almost like a door has been opened. And you see how it's like they're coming out of scarcity mindset. It's like they're coming out of lack mentality. And you have the 13, which is the death card in traditional tarot, which again, what does that mean? It means transformation. So they might have been experiencing, either within themselves or even within their physical world, some kind of lack of value, lack of worth, scarcity, lack mentality, even victimhood. And that could have even lent to a feeling like they were being financially constrained. I'm getting this energy of a lot of pressure, feeling a lot of pressure on them. And as such, they might have acted out in that energy, in old actions, old behaviors. But what I'm getting is this huge energy of transformation, because they're going through this period of self-reflection, now allowing themselves to look in the mirror, allowing themselves to really connect with themselves and see themselves. And again, that self-love is what changes the game here. It's what flips this on its head. It's what turns this around. When you're looking at your own worth and your own value, not from an ego sense, but from really deep within self-love, connecting to yourself, connecting to God's source, that's when it's like you see there's still something there. There's still 2 coins there. It's not empty. You are not empty. It's the energy of the phoenix, kind of crumbling to ash, but there are still embers that burn. You're never forsaken, you're never forgotten, you're never abandoned, especially by God's source. And I feel like that's what they're really beginning to understand. And so the door isn't shut, the door is open. So now those coffers can be filled up again. And that's what I feel like they're doing. I feel like they're filling up the coffers within themselves. With the unexpected here, it's almost like you see how there's 2 people together. It's like looking out at the new horizon. I feel like this kind of transformation that they're going through right now has been unexpected. That's the epiphany. That's the revelation that they're having. That's the expansion that they're having. They're seeing things in a new light. And we always say perspective is everything. When you change your perception around a belief, around a mindset, around a pattern, that changes your whole energy field. That's what it is to ascend. That's what it is to shift your frequency, to shift your consciousness. It's not just about intellectually understanding something. It's about going deep within and bringing it to your awareness, whatever's in the subconscious, bring it to your awareness, and then making new choices, taking new actions, not following the same pattern, the same way of doing things, the same way of thinking. You clear out those blocks. You clear out those beliefs. You say, where did those beliefs come from? What's the root of that belief? And where can I rewrite that belief? What is a new belief, especially around self-worth and love? And so I feel like it's almost like if energetically it feels like they feel the feminine with them and looking out at a new horizon, looking out at a new, it's like a portal here. It's like a new way of being, a new way of living. And it's like they're looking forward to their life now because they're looking within themselves. Divine feminine, mirror energy again, but this feels more like you're in balance within yourself and you are creating, you are manifesting, you are manifesting from that place of balance. You're manifesting from that place of self-empowerment because you have recognized and are embodying that energy of power, or that energy of balance, that energy of self-empowerment, the energy within yourself. You're recognizing that you are more magical than you ever believed about yourself. There's a lot of mirrored energy going on here. You're recognizing your worth too, and you're stepping into that embodiment. And you're stepping up and glowing up. And I feel like you have been going through that process, but you're glowing up in a much deeper way, in a much new way. In a newer way, I should say. In a way that just feels like the full force of who you are. We're going to be channeling the wild feminine energy because I feel like this energy is coming through. It's something I've been wanting to channel for a while. But that's what this feels like. This feels like embracing all aspects of you, including that wild feminine energy that has, just major healthy boundaries, that doesn't take any bullshit, that stands up for who she is and allows herself to express herself and speak her truth without fear of repercussion or persecution or punishment. She doesn't suppress herself. That's this energy that you're moving into, this full power, and you're recognizing your magic. And anybody who had tried to cut you down or deny that about you, it's almost like you're just saying, nope, not in my energy field anymore, not in my life. Because you're recognizing your worth on a whole new level, and that's moving you into another level. In and of itself, that's your willpower. That's your self-empowerment. It's very, like, it's almost like your solar plexus is like on fire. It's like you're just really identifying the magic within yourself, seeing the magic within yourself. It's a really beautiful energy. So this transformation just feels remarkable, really remarkable. We're going to continue on with, well, let's just see first. Let's get another oracle card and we'll dive deeper for the Patreon. But this eclipse energy feels really big, so I want to get something for those of you who are not on the Patreon too. So how are they feeling about the connection? How are you feeling about the connection? And what's going on in that connection? So Divine Masculine, how are you feeling about the connection? How's the Divine Masculine feeling about the connection? The Rise of the Warrior. I feel this card came out in the Divine Masculine reading, and so if you're on the Patreon especially, make sure that you're checking that reading out. I feel it says a true spiritual warrior overcomes many hurdles, and I feel like this is part of them claiming their courage, claiming their integrity, claiming their own self-empowerment, recognizing themselves, and choosing, who do I want to be? I want to be the conscious, sacred, masculine energy. I want to be the counterpart to my feminine. I want to be the man or woman, gender, it's not gender, but I want to be the masculine that my feminine always thought that I was. whoever your counterpart is, the masculine energy. I want to be who you always thought that I was, who you always knew that I was. I want to rise to, see, divine feminine. It's been a gift, and it's been a real difficulty, because divine feminine has seen the divine masculine for who he is. She sees him as in the past, the present, and the future. She sees it as all encompassing. She sees the soul of him, and as she sees the soul of him, she sees who he is at the core, and sometimes that means potential. And it's not the potential as far as what a mother or father would see in a child. This is the potential of, I see your soul. I see who you are. I see your magic. I see your love. I see your warrior energy. I see you. But sometimes a person cannot always, or is not always willing to rise to that occasion until they see that within themselves. They want to see them within themselves. They're beginning to see that within themselves. And I feel like there's, what I'm getting is they're honoring the feminine and saying, thank you for always seeing me. Oh my gosh, there's just so much tenderness coming through. I just got a wave of love and a wave of gratitude from the masculine. Thank you for always seeing me in that light when I couldn't always see myself in that light. Because there had been a lot of shame, a lot of guilt, a lot of pain for the masculine that they had experienced in their life. But divine feminine, you always saw past that. That's why you were always so able to forgive, because you love unconditionally this masculine. You just love unconditionally. But the masculine wasn't always able to love themselves unconditionally. But now the energy is beginning to rise. Wow. Divine feminine, how are you feeling about the connection? Divine feminine, how are you feeling about the connection with your masculine? How are you feeling about the connection with your masculine? Just want one. Divine feminine, how are you feeling about your connection with your masculine? They said shuffle again. Okay. Divine feminine, how are you feeling about your connection with your masculine? We have summer heat. Things are heating up. You can really... Two messages coming through. You can really feel the anticipation of this. You can feel the energetic shift. You can feel things shifting. You can feel things transforming. You can feel things, in essence, heating up. The other message is, and you see how long it took for that card to come out? It really feels like you are just kind of focused on your own thing. You see how she's kind of like looking this direction, not at the masculine? You're just focused on your own thing, and I feel like that's where you're meant to be. Not too concerned or not too worried about the masculine and what he's going through and what his ascension is, because you believe in him, you trust in him. He's on his journey. He's on his journey. He's got this. So just allow yourself to focus on your journey and your life and what you're creating within yourself and what you're creating in your life and the experiences that you want to have. Because I feel like that's part of your journey, Divine Feminines. Again, check out the soulmate reading. That's going to put another layer to this reading, I feel. So 2 messages coming through. Divine Feminine, you can feel the anticipation. You can feel the energy shift. But also, you're just like, you know what? I'm just going to enjoy my path. I'm going to enjoy my summer. I'm going to enjoy my life. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. And what's the energy of the connection between the two? What's the energy of the connection between the two? We have the distorted energy card. I'm going to get another one because, again, yeah, the 13 card. The 13, I was going to say, I feel like that's what's shifting from the distorted to the divine. Focus on your heart, not your head. I feel like that's what's changing. And you see how the energy is spreading out here? Like, that's what's changing. And then I just was called to the 13. And that 13 is that transformation number. It's the death card. But let me get one more card here just to clarify. Tell me more about what's changing within the connection. Twin flames. A connection like no other. And there is that energetic connection that you feel with each other. You are connected. You are connected through the energy of love. You are connected through that spiritual the spiritual bond that you have. This is a very spiritual component to this connection, and however that displays itself in the physical. And I feel like divine feminine, that's where you're just like focused on your life, because the divine masculine is going through their ascension. They're going through a huge leveling up within themselves, huge clarity within themselves. But it's hard to deny the connection that you have here. All right, we're going to move into the Patreon reading. We're going to dive a little bit deeper. So let's see what's happening for the masculine, the feminine, and their union energies.